Coming up in today's Relebogile Mabotja podcast episode, Clement Manyathela joins us. He has somebody's number on his phone. And what did Donald Trump say to him when they met? And what did Elon Musk say to him when they were in the White House? So many questions coming up. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Relebogile Mabotja podcast. Comment down below who you'd like to see us having on the show. And of course, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be the first to find out when we drop a new episode. Now, today's guest, I'm so excited to have in studio with us because he's not just a colleague, he also is a dear friend and somebody that I just admire and just respect. And I was like, why am I not calling this man onto my podcast? Give it up for Clement Manyathela. Why did you say yes?
Because it's you.
You know when people say because it's you, I actually need someone to elaborate. What does because it's you mean?
Well, because when a friend calls you up, you have to say, I'm here.
I hear you.
As I said to you, I think I'm like the most boring person ever.
Why do you think you're boring?
Because I am very conservative. I am very shy. I've got social anxiety. I always want to be in my house.
Yet you're always abroad.
Either I'm abroad or I'm in my house or at work.
One of the three.
One of the three.
But you also missed
I'm running somewhere.
But
some marathon.
No one boring is ever in a what you call it, a group of bots journalists, a WhatsApp group of bots journalists that have an agenda. So you must be interesting.
I must be, clearly, to the Twitter bots. I'm interesting like that. But yeah, seriously, I'm just a normal dude. I work, I run, I travel, and I don't even watch television anymore lately. And I go to school. So
you actually started studying recently? I
started studying in September last year. I had been planning to do it for so long, and I've registered and then never went to class. Registered, never went to class, and then last year I was like, I have to do this, and I ended up doing it.
So what are you studying?
So I'm studying at Gibbs. I'm doing a course called PDBA. It's a 2-year MBA course, but I'm on my first year. Just completed my first year now in September.
Pasitze.
Hey, results. But I'm definitely graduating in April next year.
We're going to put his results in the comments down below. Even if get 33% pass.
You're going to put it down. No, that's been the most stressful thing I have ever done in my life, school.
Is it?
Yeah, which is why I'm going to take a break before I do the last year to graduate then with an MBA. Because it was so traumatic. Because I'm so busy. Like, I'm juggling 2 shows, a radio show and a television show. I am doing other work outside. You know, I do other shows. I produce shows. And now there's school that comes and I'm expected to sit in class for 4 hours. That's a lot.
Why was it so important, though? Because you already have your BA in journalism, and you are extremely qualified in that space. I mean, you've put in the 10,000 hours. Because I have always considered doing an MBA, and I think it was the insecurity of not having any kind of like serious paperwork to show so that when I walk into certain rooms, people can be like, Osiwa mba. Osiwa mba. But now you already have that. So why was it so important for you to do it?
To be honest with you, I was beginning to get bored with work. And I needed something challenging. I've been doing my show for I'm going on to my 6th year now.
I hope all your listeners are watching La Mobora.
No, not you guys. Not you guys. I was just like, what we try to do on my radio show is try and mix it up. You know, you do that on your show as well. You do the series, you start a series because that helps just inject new life and new ideas on the show, right? As opposed to do the same features every time. So, and I remember I was just I just felt like the show was being repetitive. And I was like, I needed something challenging. And when I started studying, I realized that there was actually nothing wrong with the show. It's just that I needed to be stimulated in a different way Because as soon as I went to started studying, I actually started enjoying the show more, and I had more ideas. But also love that I sound more smart, you know? I mean, I'm doing finance and economics. When I talk about the economy and, economic policies on my show, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just basing it based on what I read, but there's some fundamental understanding of the concepts, economic concepts, and I like that.
I thought you're going to say, you're going to be the, in my class last week, the lecturer was referring to...
Actually, my lecturer referred to you.
Oh,
I sent you a clip one day of a lecturer saying, my dear friend Relebogile Mabotja, I'm such a fan. So... yeah, the lecture
Is it Dr. Frank?
Yes.
Dr. Frank Magwegwe is amazing.
Yeah.
And I've done such great work with him and Nedbank as well. What I do like, though, about something that I admire about you so much is I just remember, you went from being at EWN to now having your own show. And this was at a time where I was not at 702. And I remember the announcement and I said, I think people are nervous because... of how big and present Eusebius was, and his content was so specific. But I was like, I think this man is going to surprise everybody.
Yeah.
And I know the backstory of you being like, nope.
I came back.
Yes, but I think you're in your element now. And the part I admire is you studying, in as much as you're saying you were feeling like it's monotonous, it's the same thing every day. You are such a personal development person. I mean, when did you start running?
Jeez, I started running about 4 years ago. And
how many comrades have you done, and how many marathons have you done?
I mean, locally or internationally?
All.
Okay, Ibiza, Paris, London, Cape Town, Sunland Cape Town Marathon, 2 Oceans, Comrades.
Didn't you do the US?
Soweto. No, I'm doing New York only this year.
Yeah.
I'm probably done just over 10. In fact, no, probably 15.
So you only started running 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And now you've got 15 marathons under your belt. And you're the person that I see traveling all the time. And for me, I've always seen you as somebody who's into just developing yourself.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I've always loved personal development. And to come back to the question about when I was asked to do the show, part of the reason I said no for quite a while before I said yes was because I was like, I don't think I'm developed enough to do the show. I don't think I have the life experience. I mean, also, I used to admire Eusebius so much. Like, imagine you're told you have to take over a show of the person you thought was one of the greatest broadcasters this country has ever produced. That's a serious pressure. And I was so depressed, in fact, during that time. Funny enough, people think when you get a job offer like that, you are so excited. I fell into depression. I even asked for leave. And I took leave, and then so that I can decide what I do. And once I decided I want to do the show, then I came back to work. So I've always wanted to develop myself first before I take on anything. So even with that show, I just felt there's more work that I needed to do before I jump on it. But I'm glad I did jump.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about something you said now about, like, people expect when you get a job offer, it's this exciting thing. I think it's only now that I've gotten older have I understood the concept of, like, pitching for certain projects or even auditioning. And there's some of them where something in me would be like, I'm going to give everything, but I kind of hope I don't get it. And I don't know if that's related to the fear or what it is. And it's hard to say out loud because you sound so ungrateful. Like, you know what I mean? If you had said out loud, sorry guys, I need time off just to think about this job offer. I'm getting, you know what I mean? It sounds ridiculous. Do you still feel that way in certain things? Because now you're getting so many other opportunities. Do you still have that thing where you're like, I don't think I'm ready? Because those moments, I mean, flip Untied. I was like, I can't host that show. I've never been married. I've never been divorced. I always imagined it being hosted because I pitched for it as well and didn't get it. And I was like, how am I going to sit and talk to somebody who knows I'm not married, have not been married, have not been, and they still feel like she's feeling me.
Yeah.
But other people saw something in us, I guess, that we didn't see in ourselves.
And that's the lesson that I have learned. In fact, how I got into the broadcasting space for me has always been somebody seeing what I can do. The first time I ever hosted a show at 702, I was standing in for Stephen Crotters, and Mzo called me to his office, our station manager. Mzo is our boss. At the time, he was program manager, and I walked in. I had just come back from a story. I was a field reporter, and he says, I need you to stand in for Stephen next week Friday. And I was like, are you crazy? I've never hosted a radio show before. I was like, no way. He's like, yes, I need you to do that. I can pick up something when you do crossings with presenters on the station. And that's how I got into actually hosting shows on the stations. You see, some people see things in us that we don't see in ourselves. And that's a lesson I've had to learn much later in life. So now what I try to do is balance one. I say no to certain things. And much like you, I mean, as I said, I produce shows now. Sometimes we pitch certain shows and the client wants me to host the show. And I'm like, but I'm an executive producer here. Don't think I'm not a host. I'm not a presenter. And sometimes I try to say no, but they want me to do it. And I end up doing it myself. So I think it's about balancing. Certain things I do say no because I don't think I'm ready for it. But other things, I pray a lot about things before I take on any job. And I trust in God guiding me in the decision that I will take. So if someone sees something great in me, I'm like, God, help me see what they see so I'm able to walk on this journey and be confident. Because you also don't want to take something because you're under pressure or babana something that you can see in yourself. Then you don't exude any confidence. It's not going to help.
Or end up like sabotaging yourself.
Exactly.
But I think what helps is like, and people don't know, we speak often about our outside things and we get advice from each other.
Yes.
You know, we regularly, like, how much should I charge for this? Or, do you know these people? They mentioned your name. Are they valid? And I like that we have that because even for, I think about for me, there's so many things that I would not have today if I did not have a team. Because there's certain things I want to say no to immediately. And then having a manager is like, I think you need to say yes because of X, Y, and Z.
Gives you another perspective.
Yes. Or, okay, the money's terrible, but here's why I want you to do it. And, or, you know, it's going to be painful, but the money's great. Please take it. And I think it helps. So who is in your A team of supporters that you go to? Because it's not always colleagues or managers or whatever. Sometimes it's friends that can really advise you.
Sure, there's a group of people. I do have, Puleng is my business manager who will say to me, I know you don't want to do this, but we have to do it for strategic purposes, he would say.
Or relationship building.
Relationship building.
Yes.
But I've got friends as well that I go to. Like, funny enough, there's specific friends I go to for like specific work stuff. Other work stuff I go to other friends. I've come to you about like jobs I'm about to do, like if I'm hosting something and I want to know, am I charging correct?
Yes.
You know, or you
and
advise me.
And half the time I make you charge more.
You do. You've helped me a lot. Or sometimes you'll advise me about people I work with, you know. So I've got a whole community of people. And I'm blessed enough not to also be shy to ask. You know, I'm not shy to say, hey, I need advice about 1, 2, 3. Should I not? Sometimes I go to my boss, Mzo, you know, and I'll say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this, or there's something happening like this. What do I do? So it's a whole community of people. It takes a village.
It really does, because we're still African children being raised. I'm thinking about Eusebius, and for those that don't know, Eusebius Makaiser, legendary broadcaster, journalist who is now late. And it's just reminding me that we recently lost our friend and colleague, Tsidi Madia. And something happened to me recently where, you know, I don't know if it happens to you, where the grief catches you off guard. Because we have to keep going, right? I mean, the hardest part of our jobs, and I don't know if you feel the same, is talking about someone you know and love that has passed on to the listeners and trying to get through that. And in that period, it was like Mam Nandi Tsidi, and then it was Ntateng, my very first producer who truly trained me in
you did overnight.
in the graveyard shifts. She was the one who's like, okay, next time I want you to do it like this. And that's the person who groomed me behind the scenes. And then Eusebius at Olane Gwala. And I had those moments where I'm like, I find myself irritable and I'll say to my assistant, why do I hate everybody today? And then sometimes I'm like, it's the grief. And I'm wondering what your process is like in terms of grief, especially considering you are a man and society does not, if you see a woman crying walking down the street, you're not going to really think much about it. If you see a man crying, it's a different thing because we don't even see it often. I mean, I could already count the times I've seen my father crying and how it broke my heart because I never see it. But the grief thing is one that I'm still trying to figure out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Grief is, it's so painful. It's so difficult. It's so unpredictable. It's so complex. And I don't think I've ever dealt with grief the way I've dealt with it now with the losing Tsidi. Because, I mean, I've lost my grandmother, I've lost my grandfathers and both my grandmothers, but I didn't see them every day. I didn't talk to them every day. I spoke to Tsidi every single day almost. It would be weird for us
not to talk. And you
saw
her almost every day.
Almost every single day. So there are times when things happen and I want to text her. In fact, I did continue texting her even when she was in hospital.
Yeah.
And because I thought somehow that communicates to the universe to bring her back, to come back and be conscious and we can be positive that she'll be fine. And even after the passing, I think I had 2 more messages that I'd sent her. But it's been so difficult, Relebogile. I said to the listeners, I asked them and I said, please, you can talk about her, but don't expect me to respond. Not now, because I just felt I was not ready to talk about her in the past tense, and it's just been so difficult. I don't want to lie to you.
I'm getting teary now because it's so fresh. And I mean, there's so many things that people say about Tsidi. And for me, the realization she was gone. So I remember day before she passed, we saw each other at work.
Yes.
And I had recently come back from working at something. But I remember being like, I need to tell Tsidi. Like, there's things that happen. There are Tsidi things,
yes,
right? Yeah. Especially regarding government and politicians. She's always in the know. And she was just brilliant with keeping the confidentiality and keeping, I mean, if the president is comfortable with you and the leaders of all these different political parties, even though she went in hard. And when we spoke, and I was like, okay, I need to up on the prayers. I need to up it on the prayers. And when I found out, my poor team, I was getting my makeup done and I cried the entire face off because then there's another group of friends that I called because I knew the media is now announcing and it's like, that's the nightmare. Phoning, but it still is not real. I still went to the WhatsApp and I see the messages from when she was in hospital, undelivered. It's the one thing that I think is just the hardest to process. And I'm thinking, there's the desk at work. Her desk is still there.
And it's literally as you get on our first floor.
Yeah.
Her desk is what you come across first as you turn right by the lift.
And the last time I was there, Mandy Wiener had left her book for Tsidi. And I think the question I want to know is, sometimes the label of the relationship reduces the relationship to something less. Hence, you even said, I've lost my grandma, I've lost my whatever, but the person you see every day is like a whole different thing. And then it's the part of, how do you grieve when it's like in your face, but it's you also can forget and want to message the person or call the person?
Yeah, which has happened a lot. There's been so many breaking news where I needed to talk to Tsidi about that. There's been stuff I've received, because Tsidi and I are political animals.
Yes.
Like, we love politics. We've spent a lot of time being political reporters. So there are certain things that happen behind the scenes or that I hear gossip in the political circles. I want to share it with her because she will get it. She's one person that will get it. And I always...
And can confirm. She'll be the one to say, I'll call you back, and then you'll know if it's true or not.
So there are moments when I miss that, but I think what pains me the most is that she had so many plans. She had so many plans, and that's the sad thing about life, is you just don't know. And you know, that's one thing I've learned from her passing, because I've lost 2 friends in a space of 3 months. And I know what Tsidi still wanted to do. She was studying. She wanted to travel. We were supposed to go to Bali. I mean, we've got a group on WhatsApp called Fresh Bali, because she wanted us to go to Bali. And we were like, Bali. So there are so many things she still wanted to do. And it pains me to see that just the life gets cut off like that. And the lesson I've taken there is to live in the moment. Because I spend so much time as well, like planning about the future, and which is fine, but I think sometimes we worry too much about the past or the future that we forget to be in this present moment. And I think for me, that's a lesson I've taken. I want to be in the present moment. I really want to live. And yeah, sure, plan for the future. That's great, and it's responsible, but don't do that at the cost of this moment now.
And I think, like me, I don't want to label you an overthinker, but I think...
I am.
Yes, we're overthinkers, which means that we take our time with making decisions about things. And I forced myself this year with the turning 40 to be like, just say yes. Like, my team is all young people, and what they say, I like listen to them more and give them carte blanche with a lot of things. Outside of that lesson of, just live in the now, how will you be honoring her through your own life?
So on Sunday, we went to Aldrin's house, who's our other friend, and we brought...
Aldrin Sampierre. We brought our dogs. Yes.
Because Tsidi loved dogs. So it was me, Vex, Masakekana, Aldrin, and we had like a play date with our dogs, and that's something Tsidi would have loved. So yeah, that's one of the ways that we're gonna meet and bring the dogs together. But yeah, other than that, I speak to her. 2 days ago, I was about to sleep, and I walked out to the balcony and I looked up and I watched the moon as it was moving, and I spoke to her. And I think for me, that's what sort of helps me in this moment of grief. Because as you said, I get overwhelmed with so much sadness. I do. So there are moments when it just hits me, and 2 days ago, it hit me so hard, where I was just feeling so sad, and I just felt sorry for myself as well. It was so painful, missing her. And I went outside and I looked up and I spoke to her. And I think that's what helps me feel like she is here. Yeah.
Oh, man. Do you sometimes, because I look at your holiday pictures, you must go on this man's Instagram. He travels a lot.
Traveled in a while?
He travels a lot. You're never at work. So in terms of like I see some of your pictures, you'll be on the beach, on the this. And I don't know if it happens to you when the camera's off. When you are relaxed, what happens inside you and your body? For me, the grief comes up when I'm relaxed. I felt that in Mauritius because I went alone, and I decided last minute, actually I'm going alone. And then day 2 or 3, when I was finally relaxed, I was like, my throat is sore, I'm not feeling lekker. Then I realized the grief has just been sitting in the body, giving me problems, waiting for me to be relaxed, to be felt. What happens to you when you're on holiday and fully relaxed? Because there's the fun, but there's also downtime.
I think I'm going to experience that on my next holiday, because I've never lost anyone this close. And I know that's weird, but like I say, I've lost my grandmothers, whom I loved so much, and grandfathers, but these are not people I was talking to every day and I was seeing almost every day. This for me is the first close death. So I wonder how grief is going to express and manifest itself the next time when I'm relaxing, when I'm on holiday. But what normally happens is at the mention of her name, that's why I start breathing, like, get a deep breath, because you're like, it's so heavy. You suddenly feel a level of heaviness. That's sitting. Yes. So it's the mention. It's the like you say, when something happens and you're like, you're about to literally grab your phone to call the person or text them, and it hits you that you can't. They're not there. So, yeah, and then when I feel it, it's just the overwhelming sadness. I just feel so sad, and I feel. You know, when when your heart is heavy and you feel the weight of your heart, that's how I feel.
And I think the hardest part is what therapists advise, which is sit through it.
Yes.
Whereas now we want to distract ourselves, so people will drink, or if you're a runner, you might run through it, where they say actually just sit in it. That's the only way to process.
Yeah, I do sit in it. I do. And I'm trying to learn to approach life differently lately, because I think for the longest time we've been taught happiness is the feeling that is acceptable in life, and I think that's not true. And that's why there's toxic positivity. When you call and you say, oh, I'm feeling sad, and then we try to be toxically positive towards you. Don't worry. Tomorrow, the Bible verse says this. Sure, I know, and I'm a Christian myself. But actually, life is not just about happy moments, guys. It's not. You're going to wake up tomorrow, you may be disappointed. You're going to wake up the next week, someone may betray you. That's the nature of life. No, that's why there are seasons. So nobody just lives and there's one season. Why are we as humans expected to be happy? And then when there's a moment of sadness, a moment of grief, we have to interrupt it somehow. That's why we drink. That's why you smoke. That's why you do this, because you're trying to move away from feeling this. And that, I'm not saying you must wallow in your pain. Just acknowledge that actually you're sad. Actually, this is the moment you're feeling this, and keep it going.
So I think there's something people don't know about you, which is that you're a badass. Why were you fighting with a taxi boss? What happened?
That one who threatened me on air?
Please tell me everything. Because you can join the WhatsApp group of people threatened. Was it a taxi association?
Yes.
Chief.
It was during a time when they were stopping people. They didn't want us to give lifts to people, but we need a permit. That is not legal, in fact. They don't own our roads, they don't own our cars. No law gives them the right to do that. And I remember we were talking about it on air, and I brought in one of the taxi associations because I wanted to hold them accountable. Why do you do this? And he was trying to defend that. Until at the end, he basically just threatened me, like, live on the radio. And
what did he say?
He says, you are something to the lines of, you are provoking me and this will be regretted. And listen, you can say that, I'll probably laugh it off. This is a very dangerous man who's known in Mpumalanga, in the taxi associations. My own mother called me after my show and said, why did you do that? Do you know who that person is? Because my mom is in Mpumalanga. My mom was like, do you know who that person is? That person is known here. Like, you are playing with fire.
But he can't touch you now because we know who it's gonna be. Even if you die in a car accident of your own fault, again.
Poor guy.
Even if you die of a heart attack,
I mean, people threaten us all the time also. You know, with the work that I do and the very robust views I have about politicians, about other people who are high profile, I'm so used to it. I get emails. I mean, 3 days ago, an email, the tagline says, "I despise you." So I'm used to that.
So I have to ask you this. Who or how many, if you can't say the names, of these politicians are taxi bosses themselves that it doesn't get sorted out? Because clearly it's continuing because they have a vested interest in this dysfunction. So maybe you can't say who, but how many would you say are knee-deep in the taxi business?
There are many people that are knee-deep. There are politicians that have interest in the taxi businesses. And, I mean, Relebogile, it doesn't make sense that this one industry is just untouchable. It is.
Because it's protected.
It is untouchable. And the politicians will always come out and say, oh, this is what we're going to do. And then they'll hold a summit. But that doesn't bring about anything. So I'm convinced that there are some politicians, there's a reason why they are protecting this business. But also, to be honest, it's also very dangerous. Like, it's like politics in KwaZulu-Natal. Like, just running for a councillor, literally, you are playing with fire. Because you could die the next day. That's why we had the political killings task team. That's why Kwanazi was upset. Now, what's being revealed. But there are certain things that you go and you touch, there's going to be trouble. And I think even with the Taxi Association, that's almost a similar thing.
Yo. Now, I've had my guesses as to who I think some of the vested... Well, I can't say, but I will say this. I would say 3 of them have served as ministers, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that. Because, again, if I die, I mean, the Taxi Association also threatened me. It's them. Even if it's stroke, it is them.
Yeah. I mean, I hear things. I mean, I always hear things. I've had conversations with some MECs. I've had conversations with one minister once implicated their own colleague who's also a minister. So, again, I'm saying there are people that are sort of very invested here.
This is not, we don't really do current affairs here, but you're here. I am curious to find out, for you, who do you think could be taking over? Not who you know is likely to be positioned as president, but who do you think actually should be given a chance and will do a great job at it? And let's assume it's not based on our current system of you vote for a party and that leader automatically. Let's assume that we created a space that you could come in as an independent and be voted in as president. You can give me 3 names.
So, I don't trust politicians. And I'm so worried because even if I give you the names, these people are entering a political space. The minute they cross that line, I don't trust them. Because I've seen how politics is so rotten.
And dirty.
And you can come in as a clean guy, but for you to succeed in the system, because it's so rotten, it's structured in a particular way. You can only succeed if you behave in this way, if you do things this way. So in our current political system, I think even if I give you the names of people, I would say maybe we should give them a chance. I wouldn't vouch for them once they cross that line, because I say it on my radio show every day, I don't trust politicians. I think they do things for political expediency. That's why they'll lie to us and say, we'll never work with the ANC. And what do? 2 weeks later, they come back and that position has changed.
Oh, I'm going to leave my position as minister.
Kanako eso. And then what happens? Yeah.
So, well, give me 3 names. They don't have to be in the political space who you say, and we hear the disclaimer, but for you that you'd say, seeing as we need a president in this country.
Yeah.
it's almost like you're choosing the best of the rotten barrel if it's only politicians, but outside of that.
So outside of politics,
yes,
I will give you people that I admire and I think have got good leadership skills, and I think just care about this country. The gift of the Givers founder, Imposter Suleiman.
Lots of people have said he should be given an opportunity.
Yeah, I've interviewed him several times, and I think he's got a love for this country. I think he does, and that's one person that, if I were to choose someone outside of the system who wouldn't be tainted by the system, because we would have to change the system as it is, I would say him. And then who else would I pick? I would probably also go with Sim Chabalala, the Standard Bank Group CEO. I think he loves this country, and I think he is a servant. And I think that's what we need. When you are going to lead a country like this that has been through the mess that we've been through, you need someone who is a servant, who doesn't care much about what do I stand to benefit here. So I think Sim Chabalala for me is one of those people. And who else? I would probably also go with, I like the Speaker of Parliament, but she's in politics, so which is unfair. But Thogoti Diza, I always used to say I have a political crush on her. And I once said this to her, and then she was like, I was like, no, it's nothing weird. It's just that in the politics, I admire you.
Yes.
I think you are dignified. I think, I really like her. I think, it's just that she's in politics. So I also don't trust her fully.
You didn't think Naledi could have done it?
Which Naledi?
Pando.
She's in politics. I don't trust the politicians. And I love Naledi Pandor. I admire her. I think she's brave. I think she's incredible. She hasn't been tainted with scandals like some of her colleagues. But this is politics, Relebogile. And I've reported on politics for too long to know that this is about them and their parties.
What was it like interviewing our president, Cyril Ramaphosa? You did the interview with Tshidi, but I'm curious as to what was the most surprising thing about the experience. Not necessarily the things he had to say, but the experience.
Surprising?
Yes.
Was when there was a fallout after the interview because I had asked about Phala Phala.
Was that a condition for the interview to happen?
So, they did call us and say, hey, guys, what are you looking at discussing?
Yes.
And we were like, everything.
Which is normal.
It's normal.
Yes.
Because everybody needs to prepare.
Yes.
They're not asking us for questions. But I remember we did the interview and I asked about Phala Phala because how do you not ask the president about one issue that nearly had him resign?
Also, ke para para.
Para. Yes, I asked about para. And afterwards, you would swear I had just killed someone.
Live on air?
No.
After?
On air, they were okay. And even after the interview, I was like, the people who work with the press, like, Leshapo, is everything fine? They're like, yeah, we're good. And then I started getting messages. You'll never interview him again. You nearly cost us our job. And I was like, guys, I literally just asked any basic question my listeners. That was on my show. What am I communicating to my listeners by speaking to a president and yet I don't ask about one big scandal of his presidency? So that was a surprise to me. And it's not his fault. I don't think that's his fault. Because I've been around the president many times where when you want to ask him certain questions, they try to protect him and he tells them, no, leave them, go ahead, ask me. I've seen that many times. So it wasn't necessarily him who's unhappy about that.
It's the people.
Even if he was unhappy about it, he still answered the question. I got the response, and for me, I was sufficient and I moved on. It's the people around him who think they need to protect him from that. And I just felt, that's a bit weird. Yeah. To this day, there's a certain minister who doesn't talk to me, will never come on my show. When he sees me, he tells the producers, that guy better not come close to me.
How?
Because I asked about that.
So is it not because, I've been around that level, is it not because at the end of the day, when you are a president, it's almost like, and I'm just using rough figures, you bring 40% of yourself into the job, maybe even 25%. The rest is everybody around you that's like, we put you here, and this is the directive we're giving you. And because we still need you here, then there's a reason we don't want you doing X, Y, and Z. Even if you are fine doing X, Y, and Z, it's not going to help the bigger picture, which you don't see.
Yeah. But then also the problem with that is this is a president who positions himself as someone who takes accountability and wants to be held accountable.
Yeah.
So it's contradictory if you position yourself like this, but the people around you don't want you to be taking certain questions. It's just weird. It's like what I see sometimes with politicians. It happens a lot where you pitch interviews with them. They don't want to come on your show because they know you're going to ask them the tough questions. So what they do is they go pick a journalist that they know is going to be so soft on them. That's what happens. And then they take one who they know is going to be soft, ask the questions, and then they're done. They're no longer taking interviews. I mean, which is fine because it's their prerogative. You can't force them to come on your platform. But if really you're serious about being held accountable and you believe in that, you're not going to be threatened by a journalist just because they're going to be asking you tough questions.
And it's not even like, I mean, honestly, that should have been the first question you know would be on the agenda.
I mean, really.
Of everything to be asked. Of everything.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I'm still like...
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, now I still want to take out Squinch for our Springbok public holiday.
Yeah.
That they squeezed into December. We are owed that public
You were
holiday.
pushing for that so hard.
No, because I was like, you can't, when the public says, and then you say yes, then you want to be smart and say, but later.
It's saying national dialogue.
Yeah,
There's a dialogue. You can raise it there.
In all of the people that you've been interviewing, because I mean, you've also got, much as you're a serious journalist, you've got this fun side to you.
Yeah.
You have your hanging out feature. Which would you say is the one standout interview and why? And I know it
That's
doesn't
unfair.
necessarily, it is unfair, but get life. You also said life is like
unfair.
that. But I'm saying stand out because you and I both know sometimes it has nothing to do with how great of an icon you are.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be because of how you felt or...
Oh, that's so unfair.
No, but a name came to mind the moment I said the question. What's the first name?
There's so many names that came to mind. Can I give you at least 3?
Okay, 3. Very good.
Okay, so Trevor Noah was great.
Oh, yes.
I enjoyed chatting to him. I think, I felt like it was just a moment of pride for us as a country. And I was privileged to be on the seat to get the nation and our listeners into his thinking and reflect on his life and his success. So I really love that, Trevor Noah. I would say Naledi Pandor was also great. I enjoyed Naledi Pandor because, she's a very strong character. She's very principled. But for some reason during that interview, she was so soft. And I love that she's so strong, so principled, but yet she can relax and be cool. So I really enjoyed that. Who else? I've loved it talking to Sim Chabalala because I love Sim. I love Sim Chabalala. I look up to him. I think he's just an incredible leader in our society, in the business world. But also, the interviews I've enjoyed the most, actually, stalwarts.
Yes.
People who have fought for freedom, the freedom you and I are enjoying today. And the reason I have loved talking to them is because I'm in awe at the level of sacrifice they committed themselves to. And I often ask myself if that still exists in our society today. Like, you and I, are we willing to go to Zambia to go and train because we want to come back and free this country? I don't know if I have it in me to lose everything that I have and leave my family behind and think, I want to. So those people, I feel we need to celebrate them more. And I know some of them ended up getting into weird things, But there are many people in this country that are not even known, that didn't end up becoming ministers, that sacrificed so much. And I've enjoyed talking. Albie Sachs, the former Constitutional Court Justice who lost his arm when he was in Mozambique. Why? Because they were busy trying to draft the constitution so they can come and negotiate. Things like that really inspire me and remind me of the need to be servants and to care about more about other people in this country than just ourselves.
I have to say, I know we have these conversation often. I don't mean you and I, but I mean in general, where people be saying, oh, they're so worried about Gen Zs. The new generation is lazy. They use ChatGPT. They don't read. They don't whatever. But I've seen some young people who, for me, I'm like, there's something that they're going to do that we millennials are not even going to think about. And I don't know what it is yet. I think they're going to disrupt in a different way. They're going to figure out, because this era, like you say, of the but I fought for our freedom is going to slowly end. I think there's a new fight that we have to address. And I don't know, and maybe you can share, because I feel like currently the big fight that's happening is a class fight. It's against the LGBTIQ plus community. It's the tribalism fight. It's the xenophobia fight. But the common theme through all of those things is othering anybody.
Yeah.
And I don't know what your thoughts are, if you are like, you think this is what the current fight is, because so as long as not everybody's free, then we're not free.
Yeah.
And secondly, if you do think the Gen Zs are going to disrupt and switch it up.
I think every generation is going to have their cause, and yes, I speak a lot about the guys who inspire me, Albie Sachs, and many others that I've spoken to, Wale Serote, etc., etc. But that was their generation. That was the cause and the fight they had to take on. We had a different fight. The new generation that's coming has a different fight. And for me, I think that's inclusivity. Like, they are fighting for inclusivity. Like, why must this person be disadvantaged because they are differently abled? Because they are members of the LGBTQI plus community? Because they are black? Because they are women? Because they're old?
Or because they're living with albinism? The list goes on and on.
It goes on and on. And I think what I'm loving is that's the fight. They are saying, we are going to fight and ensure that there's inclusivity. And I think that's like the sort of era that I sort of pick up from the younger generation. We are 60. The younger ones. As if we are 65.
No, but in real life, you start to realize that we are becoming that new generation, because we can say, I remember McDonald's being 15 Rand for a Big Mac.
Do you realize we're there?
No, we are.
Yeah,
because when McDonald's came, I think at the beginning it was 12 Rand 50 for a Big Mac meal. I remember a movie and a meal for kiddies being 10 Rand all together on a Tuesday. It's a 500 Rand plus exercise. 500 Rand. And that's with Vitality discounts.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can even be 1,000 if you're like going 1,000 plus. What do you see for yourself in sort of the next 5 to 10 years? Because the beauty about talk radio is you really can just be there for 30 years.
You can. Which I don't plan to do.
I know you do. You can be there for 30 years, but your career is really starting to unfold. I mean, people don't even know the part of you being behind the scenes on certain things. But I'm seeing such beautiful opportunities open up for you. What do you see, let's call it 10 years from now?
10 years from now, what do I see?
I get it, by now you'll be Mba. You're going to change your LinkedIn to Clement Manyathela Mba.
What do I see? Personally, let me start there. I'm in my seeking era. That's what I call it. Like, I'm
seeking love.
I'm seeking no, not so much love. And maybe I will seek love as well, but not love at the moment. I'm seeking I'm seeking to learn more about myself. I'm seeking to learn more about spirituality. Like, I'm seeking to learn more about this God that was sold to me since I was young by my parents. And then I went to church, and then the pastors told me about this guy who's so powerful. And I'm like, but I want to know him or her or they for me. I'm seeking knowledge about why I'm here. I'm seeking knowledge about the human experience, because I think we obsess so much about this one element of us as humans, which is us as physical beings. We don't focus, we don't care about, like, do we have souls? Like, do we have spirits? How do we take care of that? And, Maya Angelou talks about, says, when you are given, you must give. And when you are taught, you must teach. And I think I'm being taught. Like, in my seeking era, I'm reading so many books about spirituality. I'm listening to lots of podcasts about that. And that is bleeding into my show as well. Because I do, as I say, when you're being taught, you must teach. So I think that's my era. And I think in the next 10 years, I need to be at a point where I'm settled in what I believe. I'm settled in who I am. And I'm settled in what I believe I'm here to do. Like, why are you here? Like, I mean, there could have been 1 million more souls or people that are given the opportunity to have this human experience. Why us?
I actually thought when you said I'm seeking, I thought you were going to say you are in your era of seeking what your exact purpose is, as in like to the ballpoint pen dot.
That's it.
Of what
Why am
is
I
it?
here?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I love what I do. I mean, radio is great. The television show is great. The work I do behind the scenes, some of the gigs I take, I enjoy all of that. I believe it's part of, it's part of what I do while I'm here. But why am I here? And I think I believe there's a fundamental thing that will answer that question for me. And I hope in the next 10 years I'm there. Professionally, yeah, I don't know, Relebogile. I don't know professionally, because I'm at a crossroad now where I'm trying to figure out what's next. I used to be the guy that just does, I've never stayed with a company actually for longer than 2 years, first of all. Prime Media is the first company I've ever stayed with for longer than 2 years. I've always planned to stay 2 years out, in and out. I was that guy. Hit and run. And then I got to Prime Media, and how many years is it? I'm approaching 10 years?
Jeez.
That's a bit wild for me. So I'm learning to settle into that and sort of find myself in this betrayal of myself, because I feel like I have betrayed myself.
But I don't think I think you're just evolving. I mean, think about it, that I also was in that era of like...
But you left and came back.
No, okay, but wait, hold on. Here's the difference. I left because it was like, okay, I'm getting itchy. Now you go, right? Yeah. And then I was like, I don't even think I want to do radio anymore. The 2 offers came, I said, nah, actually, I'm done. I'm going to go back to TV doing my thing. When I came back, it felt like the right time. I had just given birth. So I think you're just evolving and growing, because at our age, us in our 40s, at our age, we need a sense of stability, because the rest of our lives is so chaotic. Yeah. We're in different countries, different cities at any time doing gigs, sometimes sleeping 2 hours a night. Yeah. But it's the one thing that brings some kind of stability.
And that stability will be important for me, because I mean, I want kids. I want to have a family. But you know how I want kids? I want to be able to like lease them out. Like, I don't want them every day with me, because when they irritate me, I want to be able to go. And I'm sure they'll invent something where you can just bring kids for the weekend with Baulapi seats. I want that, but I do want a family. I do want a family, and I want.
Do you know what leasing kids is? It's called grandparents. You send them there.
That's where I send them when I'm tired. But I would want that. I want that soon, because I do feel. I feel that need. Like, I feel like I've entered that space in my life where I'm like, a child would be great.
Coming of age.
A younger Clem, yeah.
Oh my gosh. gosh, I just can already see your daughter put with the fake beard in a suit, dressed exactly like you. So this is a good time. There's something we do on my show.
Yeah.
It's kind of new. I'm going to shuffle some cards.
Okay.
And I think it's perfect timing because you also said you are seeking.
Okay.
You're going to tell me when to stop?
Okay, stop.
Okay. Then just pick a random card. Don't look at it.
Random card, just one.
Just one. Okay. Woo! Yes! I will! Oh. Wait, which one is the clocket? Which is an applause? One of these.
Yeah.
One of these.
I've just learned there's this now.
What is this?
Apparently means no. But when you do this, it means no. My sister, my younger sister.
So it must be two hands.
Yes. Apparently, is it DJ Kabza or someone or Maporisa who did this, and apparently it means no.
Let me ask the young people, is he right?
No, right? Yeah, no, nah.
Okay, I'm going to practice. All right. Your card reads, and obviously I'm reading it as you, but you're going to answer. Am I on the right path?
Oh, absolutely.
And then it says this. Sometimes we second guess what we're doing. We lose trust in the process and question if we're even on the right path at all. Know this, you are on the right path. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep remembering that you made a soul contract that you are currently fulfilling in every area of your life. Even if you can't see it, that doesn't mean it's not real. So would you like some homework? Your soul action for today. Search for all the ways you're aligned with your soul's purpose. The signs will appear. Let this newfound trust fuel your next steps.
I like that because I think it's in line with this era I find myself in. I like that, and I'll take that homework home.
So the part where it says about second guessing, does that resonate with you?
Second guessing, I mean, I've got moments when I do. But I think I also I really pray about stuff. Like sometimes when I'm not sure, I'll pray and say, God, you guide me. So tomorrow, when I wake up and I take a decision, I believe it's guided by you. And then I run with it. But I do have moments where I second guess myself. I think it's also part of life. Like life is not 100%. There's no guarantees. So some things you're going to think are going to be great, but they're going to be bad for you.
Yeah.
Some things you're going to think are going to be bad, but they're going to be great for you.
As we close off our conversation, firstly, let me just say, I love working with you. I love having you in my phone book. Speaking of, actually, I nearly forgot to ask you, who's the most famous person in your phone book?
The most famous person.
Did you get Adele's number?
No, I wish I did. I wish I did. Oh my God. The most famous, who could it be? I had my phone.
On your phone.
I used to have the president's number.
I flippin' knew it.
I think I still have it. I don't call him. But
no, of course, you don't. Yeah. You don't use it. So you had his number because of the...
When did I start having his number? It's a while back. Yeah, I do. That's the most famous person I probably have, or the most important.
I just hope you know that his team blocked you already.
I'm sure.
Should we try call the number?
No, I don't want to.
He wouldn't know it's you though, because if he answers, he doesn't have your number.
How do you know?
How would he have your number? Do you think he'd have your number?
I don't know, but yeah. I just can't say other things because then it's going to be...
What if we call him on a private number?
No, you're not calling the president on a private number.
We act like we're a call center saying...
Wapolota. Like you haven't paid yet.
Yeah, we must say...
You're Mr. Price.
This is what we're going to say.
Yeah.
You've been selected as a special customer for a great offer. Is your name?
So, yeah. But there are many, I mean, There are many people on my... Oh, geez, I've got...
I can't believe you have his number and you've never used it.
I can't say. But
okay, let me ask you this. Does he have WhatsApp and what's the picture?
I don't know about the WhatsApp.
So you've never looked?
I've never looked. I've never gone on the WhatsApp to check. I'll actually do it now after this interview. Let's check it out.
No, bring the phone. Bring the phone.
No. This is the head of state. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Listen, it was so fun hanging out with you. In closing, what would you like to share with everybody watching, which is really a variety of young, not so young folks? It can be advice. It can be anything that you want to share.
Advice from us, the elders. Yeah, the 60-year-olds were soon to be. I think my advice would be that, recently I participated in this project. There's this author who was publishing a book, and he went out to find people that he feels are trailblazers and are important, and he asked them, write letters that you would write to your 25-year-old self. What did you wish you knew at 25? And he selected me to participate, and I wrote a whole essay, which was part of the book that was published. And part of the thing that I wrote there was that do not try to live by people's praises, because if you do, you're going to die by their criticism. I think this era that we've entered, and it began a while back, where social media behaves as though it's like the barometer of national mood. So we end up wanting so much to please people, especially on those platforms. Because when they say something bad about you, sometimes it hits you so hard that you think it's a whole world that's against you. And I see that a lot in the younger people. And I certainly saw it in myself, when I was starting with the job and you're beginning to be popular, people know who you are now, they question everything you do. A small little criticism used to send me to bed, Relebogile. In my 20s, I used to think, oh my God. Why?
Everybody hates me.
Everybody hates me. And then when they praise you, you've got this high. It's like, and the problem with that is you've given people so much power. And I think you need to be just comfortable in yourself. And that's one thing I've learned. I'm so comfortable in myself. Like the people who will tweet and they make you trend because they think, because there are people out there who literally will intentionally want to ruin your day.
Yes.
Or your name.
I'm going to teach you how to put your settings on Twitter, where you only see people's responses that you are following. And when you feel like, let's say you post a topic, then you go in it, then you can see. So I had to do that setting, and I didn't even know that setting can happen.
But you know what I enjoy?
What?
Blocking. Guys, blocking is the most therapeutic thing ever. Nonsense. Block. I feel so good.
I don't like blocking.
Sometimes I block like 15 people in like 5 minutes. Push.
I don't block because they must see that despite I mute them, so I don't have to see your comment.
Like I'll block. Hey, I love blocking.
Wait,
it's
last question. I almost forgot. Donald Trump, did he leave an orange stain on your hand when you shook his hand?
Guys, Donald Trump, what a weird experience. So first of all, I was standing next to Elon Musk.
I know.
Like, he had his hand here and he asked
Did he smell fresh?
Rich people don't really smell like anything, I think. They're just they're bland. I don't know why. Like
chicken breast just boiled and no salt.
I could say, but there's no a specific scent. Like Adele.
Yes.
I mean, I've got the T-shirt because she.
And you didn't wash it.
No, of course not. And I mean, she hugged me, so I can still almost smell her cologne. Elon Musk, I couldn't smell anything, and a lot of people, funny enough, were asking me, how does he smell like? But
because we want to know what billionaires smell like.
I walked in and he touched me and he said to me, hey, how's South Africa? And as I was responding to him, his security came and they're like, you touch him again?
Wait, Donald's security or Elon?
So Elon's security was just behind him, because it was Donald and our president, and then it was the deputy president of the US, the secretary of state, Elon, and me.
Yes.
So there was security behind, and then they were like, you are not allowed to touch this man.
Touch who?
Elon Musk.
But he touched you.
That's what I said. I was like, excuse me, sir, he touched me. And it's like, no touching. But he was so cool, actually. I mean, he looked at his security and dismissed him and continued to smile. And I was like, oh, South Africa is fine. And then that's when the press briefing started. But yeah, it was interesting. Like, Donald Trump is an interesting man. Like, the White House is exactly the way you see it in the movies.
Yes. I get it, when they do the movies, they replicate the Oval Office. They replicate it, yeah. Exactly the same.
But I always used to think, is it like that? I mean, when you walk in, it's exactly the same way. Like, it's so overwhelming. It's so grand.
Yeah.
It's so overprotected. I mean, I arrived in Washington 4 days before the meeting, so I used to run every day around the White House. And, at some point, they'll come and call you and say, we've been noticing you here almost every day, running around this time. What's your deal? Who are you? So they pick up things like that. Like, they're so, it's such an overprotected space. So even when you walk in, it's like that. And then you see Donald Trump, who is a normal person, until the cameras go on. So he was cool with everybody else. Like, before the cameras went, push. He was okay. And then the cameras, they said, we're ready. We're live. He turned into the person we know as Donald Trump.
So did he leave an orange stain on your hand or not?
No. I gave that.
I can't believe that Elon doesn't smell like anything.
Yeah. He didn't. He didn't smell like anything.
I know this sounds crazy, but I would have asked him for money, because when are you going to meet Elon
and
again?
What? Getting Elon,
no, like money. You just be like, it's so funny you're here. Now that you're asking about South Africa, it's rough there.
Bring us the money.
Because you're not going to see him again. What do you have to lose?
Oh, nah, he can stay with his money because he wants to manipulate us here and not follow our laws and bring his companies here. We'll be fine. Also, does he even acknowledge us as... When last was he here?
And then the father, conversation for another day. Clement Manyathela's show is 9 to 12 on 7:02. I nearly said 7:02 afternoons because it goes into your mouth.
Well, how many hours before your show? Well, 3 hours after my show.
4 hours. Ends. Before my show.
4 hours before your show, yes.
Yes, so you're 9 to 12.
Yes.
And then Mandy's between us, and then I'm on. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You're not a boring person, because now when the cameras go off, we need to check the president's WhatsApp profile picture. Thank you for joining us. Comment down below any questions you have for Clement. I'll push him and nudge him to respond, and whoever else you'd like to see on the podcast. Subscribe, notification bell, share. Till next time. Thanks for joining us.